Do you want to know what it feels like to destroy everything with a single choice? To cross a line so unforgivable that you can never go back? I do. Because 5 years ago, on what should have been the happiest day of my sister's life, I slept with her husband. Not before the wedding, not after the honeymoon, on her wedding night, while she was passed out drunk in the bridal suite 3 doors down from where I was betraying her in the most unthinkable way possible. My name is Emma. I'm 31 years old, and I've been living with this secret for 5 years, watching my sister build a life with a man who looked me in the eyes that night and made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. The same man who now sits across from me at every family dinner, who hugs me at every birthday party, who plays with my niece while I pretend I don't remember the way his hands felt on my skin. You're probably already judging me. Good, you should. But let me tell you how it happened, because the truth is never as simple as you want it to be. And maybe, just maybe, when you hear the whole story, you'll understand that some sins don't announce themselves with warning signs and moral clarity. Some sins walk up to you in a dimly lit hotel hallway and ask if you're okay, and by the time you realize what's happening, you're already damned. It was June 15th, 2019. My sister Claire's wedding day. She was 26, marrying her college sweetheart Marcus after 5 years together. I was her maid of honor. We'd spent the entire week before the wedding together, doing final dress fittings, arranging flowers, addressing last-minute changes to the seating chart. Claire was radiant in a way I'd never seen her before. She kept saying she couldn't believe how lucky she was, how Marcus was everything she'd ever wanted, how she couldn't wait to start their life together. I was happy for her, I really was, but there was something else there too, something I'm ashamed to admit even now: jealousy. Not of Marcus specifically, but of what they had. I'd been single for 3 years at that point, after a brutal breakup that left me convinced I was fundamentally unlovable. I'd watched all my friends pair off, watched my younger sister find her person, while I went home alone every night to my studio apartment and my rescue cat. I smiled through every engagement announcement, every couple's vacation, every pregnancy reveal, while inside I was screaming. The wedding was beautiful. Claire looked like something out of a fairy tale in her dress, this flowing ivory thing with lace sleeves and a cathedral train. Marcus cried when he saw her walking down the aisle. Real tears, not the fake ones some grooms force out for the photos. The ceremony was in this gorgeous garden venue with string lights and white roses everywhere. I stood next to Claire, holding her bouquet, watching her promise forever to someone who looked at her like she hung the moon. The reception was at the same venue, in this big tent they'd set up with a live band and a dance floor. Everything was perfect, almost too perfect, like we were all extras in a movie about the ideal wedding. I gave my maid of honor speech, carefully crafted to be funny and touching without being too sentimental. Everyone laughed at the right parts. Claire hugged me and whispered thank you, and I felt like maybe I was a good person after all. That's when the drinking started, not just for me, for everyone. Open bar at a wedding is always dangerous, but this was next level. Claire's friends from college were taking shots between dances. Marcus's groomsmen were doing that thing where they compete to see who can drink the most without falling over. I was keeping pace with the bridesmaids, champagne and vodka sodas blurring together into a pleasant numbness. By 10 p.m., Claire was wasted. I mean, properly gone, barely able to stand without help. She'd been going since 6 a.m. that morning, running on adrenaline and barely any food, and the alcohol hit her hard. I found her in the bathroom, mascara running down her face, telling me she was the happiest woman alive, but also might throw up. I got her back to the table where Marcus was entertaining some relatives, and he took one look at her and knew they needed to call it a night. The hotel was attached to the venue, one of those fancy places with a spa and a golf course. Marcus had booked the bridal suite on the 3rd floor, and I helped him half carry Claire to the elevator while the reception continued without them. She kept apologizing, saying she'd ruined everything, and Marcus kept telling her she was perfect and he loved her, and they had the rest of their lives together. In the elevator, Claire fell asleep standing up, her head on Marcus's shoulder. We got her into the suite, this massive room with a 4-poster bed and a balcony overlooking the gardens. Marcus laid her down gently, took off her shoes, and covered her with a blanket. She was out cold, snoring softly, still in her wedding dress because there was no way we were getting her out of it without waking her up. Marcus stood there for a moment just looking at her, and I saw something flicker across his face. Disappointment, frustration. It was gone before I could meme it. "Well," he said, turning to me, "this isn't exactly how I pictured our wedding night." I laughed, trying to lighten the mood. She'll feel terrible about this tomorrow. "Yeah." He ran his hand through his hair, loosening his tie. "I should probably just let her sleep." "You're a good guy, Marcus." He looked at me then, really looked at me, and I felt something shift in the room. The air got heavier. "Thanks for helping get her up here, Emma. You've been amazing this whole week." "That's what sisters are for." We stood there in the doorway, neither of us moving. Claire snored again, a loud, graceless sound that broke the moment. Marcus smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I should get back to the reception," I said, even though everything in me wanted to stay. Yeah, you should." I left, but I didn't go back to the reception. I went to my room instead, 2 floors down, and sat on the bed staring at nothing. I could hear the music still playing faintly through the windows, laughter and celebration, and I felt completely hollow. This was supposed to be a happy day. Why did I feel like something was wrong? I changed out of my bridesmaid's dress into jeans and a t-shirt, thinking maybe I'd go back down for the last dance, but I couldn't make myself move. I kept replaying that moment in the bridal suite, the way Marcus had looked at me, the way the air had felt charged and dangerous. I told myself I was imagining things. He was my sister's husband now. Nothing was going to happen. Around midnight, there was a knock on my door. I almost didn't answer it. I was halfway to sleep, and I figured it was one of the other bridesmaids wanting to keep the party going. But something made me get up, made me walk to the door, made me open it without checking the peephole first. Marcus was standing there, still in his tux pants and dress shirt, tie gone, top buttons undone. He looked wrecked in a way that my stomach flipped. "Can I come in?" he asked, his voice quiet, urgent. I should have said no. I should have asked if something was wrong with Claire. I should have done 1,000 things differently. Instead, I stepped aside and let him in. He walked past me into the room, and I closed the latch. The click of the latch seemed impossibly loud. "Is Claire okay?" I asked, because I needed to say something, needed to fill the silence with normal words. "She's still out cold." He turned to face me, and I saw it then, clear as day. He didn't come here to talk about Claire. "Marcus, what are you doing?" "I don't know." He took a step closer. "I've been thinking about you all night." My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. "You just married my sister." I know that. But Emma, He stopped, shook his head. "When I was up there, watching her sleep, all I could think about was how you looked at me in that doorway, like you wanted..." "Stop." But I didn't move. I didn't step back. I didn't open the door and tell him to leave. "Tell me you don't feel it too," he said, and he was right in front of me now, close enough that I could smell his cologne, see the flecks of gold in his brown eyes. "Tell me I'm crazy, and I'll go back upstairs and pretend this never happened." I opened my mouth to tell him exactly that, to say he was crazy, that this was wrong, that he needed to leave right now before we both did something we'd regret forever. But the words that came out were different. "You're not crazy." He kissed me, or I kissed him. I honestly don't remember who moved first. All I remember is his hands in my hair, my back against the wall, the desperate, hungry way we grabbed at each other like we were drowning. I remember thinking, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and not caring at all because it felt so goddamn right. We didn't make it to the bed. We barely made it out of our clothes. It was fast and intense and nothing like I'd imagined my first time with someone would be, but I didn't care. In that moment, he was mine, not Claire's, mine. Afterwards, we lay on the floor, our breathing heavy, reality slowly creeping back in. Marcus stared at the ceiling, his arm covering his eyes. "Oh God," he whispered, "what did we do?" I didn't answer, because there was no answer that would make it okay. We'd just committed the ultimate betrayal on his wedding night, while my sister slept 3 floors above us in her wedding dress, dreaming about the beautiful future she thought she had. Marcus sat up, started pulling on his clothes with shaking hands. This can never happen again. Claire can never know. Nobody can ever know. I know. He loves her, Emma. He do. I don't know what this was, but it doesn't change how I feel about her. That hurt more than it should have. Okay, I should go. I need to. She might wake up and. Just go, Marcus. He stood at the door, one hand on the handle, and looked back at me. I was still on the floor, wrapped in a sheet, mascara probably smeared all over my face. "I'm sorry," he said. "No, you're not." He left without another word. I lay there for a long time after he was gone, trying to feel something. Guilt, shame, regret, anything. But all I felt was empty. I'd just ruined my relationship with my sister, helped destroy her marriage before it even really started, and I felt nothing. I wanted to say that was the end of it, that we both went back to our lives and never spoke of it again, but that would be a lie, because the next morning, when Claire came downstairs to the farewell brunch looking exhausted but happy, apologizing to everyone for passing out early, Marcus caught my eye across the room and I saw it. The same hunger, the same wrongness, the same knowledge that we'd do it again if we had the chance. We didn't, though. Not that weekend, not in the months that followed. Marcus and Claire went on their honeymoon to Greece. They sent pictures of sunsets and ancient ruins and each other looking blissfully happy. They came back and moved into a townhouse in the suburbs. Claire went back to her job as a graphic designer, Marcus to his position at a tech startup. They adopted a dog, they hosted dinner parties, they did everything newlyweds are supposed to do. And I watched it all, smiling and supportive, dying inside a little more each day. Because I couldn't tell her. How do you tell your sister that you slept with her husband on her wedding night? How do you look her in the eyes and admit that you're not just a bad sister, you're the worst kind of person? So I didn't. I kept the secret and let it eat me alive. The family gatherings were torture. Every holiday, every birthday, every casual Sunday dinner became an exercise in psychological warfare. Marcus and I were never alone together. He made sure of that. We barely even made eye contact, but Claire noticed nothing. She was too happy, too in love, too trusting to see what was right in front of her. "I'm so glad you two get along," she said to me once, about 6 months after the wedding. We were having lunch, just the two of us, and she was glowing. "Some of my friends have such drama with their sisters and their husbands. I love that you and Marcus are cool with each other." I wanted to vomit. Instead, I smiled and said, "He's a great guy. You're really lucky." I know, sometimes I can't believe this is my life. Like, I actually married my dream guy. How many people get to say that? Not many, I thought, and fewer still when their sister fucks that dream guy within hours of the ceremony. The guilt grew teeth over time. It wasn't just a vague sense of having done something wrong anymore. It was specific, vivid, inescapable. I'd replay that night in my head, examining every moment, every choice, looking for the exact second where I could have stopped it. But the truth was, I didn't want to stop it. Not then, not now. I was attracted to Marcus. I'd been attracted to him since the moment Claire brought him home for Christmas 3 years before they got married. I'd just been really good at pretending I wasn't. Was that why I did it? Because I wanted him and couldn't have him, and one night I got the chance to take what I wanted? Or was I just so desperate for validation, for someone to want me, that I'd betray my own sister for a few minutes of feeling desired? I've spent 5 years trying to figure that out, and I still don't have an answer. A year after the wedding, Claire announced she was pregnant. I found out at a family dinner, surrounded by parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, all screaming with joy. Marcus had his arm around Claire, both of them beaming, and I felt the room tilt sideways. This was real now. They weren't just married, they were building a family. And I'd be Aunt Emma, the cool aunt who takes the kid to movies and buys them inappropriate presents, all while knowing I'd betrayed her mother in the worst possible way. I excused myself to the bathroom and cried for 20 minutes. When I came back out, Claire hugged me and whispered, "I'm so glad you're going to be an aunt. Our kids are going to be so close." Our kids. Like I was ever going to have kids with someone, like I deserved that kind of happiness after what I'd done. The baby was a girl. They named her Sophie. She was perfect, all dark hair and big eyes like Claire. I held her in the hospital, this tiny, perfect thing, and felt like a monster. Sophie would grow up calling me Aunt Emma, trusting me, loving me, never knowing that I was the reason their family started on a foundation of lies. Marcus stayed away from me even more after Sophie was born. If I was at Claire's house, he'd suddenly remember errands he needed to run. If we were all at a family gathering, he'd position himself on the opposite side of the room. The avoidance was so obvious, I was surprised no one commented on it. But maybe they did and I just didn't hear. I was pretty good at dissociating by that point, at being physically present while mentally checked out. 2 years ago, things shifted. Claire and Marcus went through a rough patch. She didn't give me details, just said they were working through some stuff and seeing a marriage counselor. I wondered if he'd told her, if the guilt had finally eaten through his carefully constructed facade and he'd confessed everything. But then the rough patch ended, they renewed their vows on their 5th anniversary, and life went on. Whatever they'd worked through, it wasn't my secret. I've dated since that night. There was a guy named Tom who lasted 6 months before he told me I was emotionally unavailable. Another guy, David, who proposed after a year, and I said no, because I couldn't imagine standing at an altar and promising forever when I knew exactly how meaningless those promises could be. My most recent relationship ended 3 months ago, when he asked me why I never introduced him to my family, and I realized I was keeping my life in compartments so I wouldn't have to watch him and Marcus exist in the same space. Sophie is 3 now. She calls me Auntie M, like Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. Her favorite thing is when I come over and we have tea parties with her stuffed animals. Last month, she told me I was her favorite person in the whole world, and I had to leave early because I couldn't stop crying. Claire thought I was having boy troubles. I let her think that. It was easier than explaining that I was crying because I don't deserve her daughter's love, that every hug from Sophie feels like a knife in my chest, reminding me of what I've destroyed. The worst part is that I can't even talk about it. Not to a therapist, because what if they know my family? Not to a friend, because how do you admit something like this out loud? Not to anyone. So I've carried it alone for 5 years, and it's hollowing me out from the inside. Last month was Claire and Marcus's 6th anniversary. They had a party, just family and close friends, in their backyard. Sophie ran around in a princess dress while adults drank wine and pretended the world was simple. I brought Claire's favorite champagne and a card that said something generic about lasting love. Marcus shook my hand when I arrived, the most contact we'd had in years, and his palm was sweaty against mine. At one point, I found myself alone in their kitchen, refilling my wine glass, and he came in for ice. We froze, staring at each other for the first time in forever. The silence stretched out between us, heavy with everything we weren't saying. "How have you been?" he asked finally, his voice barely above a whisper. "Fine. You?" "Good. Great, actually. Really happy." "That's good." "Emma, He stopped, looked toward the door to make sure no one was coming. "Do you ever think about it?" "Every single day," I wanted to say, in every quiet moment, in every lie I tell Claire, in every time I hold Sophie and wonder what kind of person I really am. "No," I said instead. "It was a mistake. We've both moved on." He nodded, relief flooding his face. Yeah, exactly. A mistake we both forgot about." Claire walked in then, Sophie on her hip, asking if we'd seen her phone. Marcus immediately went to help her look, and I was alone again, with my wine and my secrets and my conviction that I'm going to hell. I don't know what I expected to get from this confession. Absolution? Understanding? Permission to finally tell the truth? I don't think any of those things exist for what I've done. Some sins are too big to be forgiven, some betrayals too deep to ever heal. I know that. I've known it since the moment Marcus left my hotel room and I lay there on the floor, understanding exactly what kind of person I'd become. But I couldn't keep carrying this alone anymore. It's been 5 years of watching my sister love a man who looked at me like I was everything he wanted for one single night. 5 years of being Aunt Emma to a child who will never know how her family really started. 5 years of living a lie so complete that sometimes I forget what the truth even feels like. Claire sent me a text last night. Just a picture of Sophie asleep on the couch, curled up with her favorite stuffed rabbit, and a caption that said, "She asked for you today." I stared at that photo for an hour, this perfect, innocent child who loves me unconditionally, and I wanted to scream, because she shouldn't love me. Nobody should, not after what I've done. I don't have a redemption arc for you. I don't have a moment where I decided to be better or make amends. I'm still the same person who betrayed her sister on her wedding night. I still go to family dinners and pretend everything is fine. I still hug Claire and tell her how lucky she is, and die a little inside every time. I still play tea party with Sophie and let her think I'm a good person. The only thing that's changed is that now you know. Now someone else in the world knows exactly what kind of monster I am. And maybe that's enough. Maybe confession isn't about forgiveness or absolution. Maybe it's just about finally saying the truth out loud, even if the only people who hear it are strangers, who will judge me exactly as harshly as I deserve. I slept with my sister's husband on her wedding night. She still doesn't know, and if I have any say in it, she never will. Because that's the last terrible gift I can give her, the illusion of a perfect marriage, a perfect family, a perfect life, even if it's built on the worst thing I've ever done. I can live with the guilt. I've proven that over 5 years. What I can't live with is the thought of destroying her happiness all over again by telling her the truth. So I'll keep this secret until the day I die, and I'll let it kill me slowly from the inside out. And maybe that's exactly the punishment I deserve. Do I regret it? Every single day. Would I take it back if I could? I want to say yes. I want to tell you that given the chance, I'd make different choices. I'd be a better person. I'd save my sister from this betrayal. But the truth is, I don't know. Because in that moment, in that hotel room, with Marcus looking at me like I was everything he'd ever wanted, I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. And that's the real confession, isn't it? Not just that I did something unforgivable, but that part of me doesn't regret it at all. That's what makes me a monster. Not the act itself, but the fact that somewhere deep inside, I'd do it again.